Hello everyone, my name is Elle and welcome to my channel. So just recently I mentioned my sort of falling out with the store Lush and that I stopped shopping there a few years ago, and a lot of people were interested in hearing what happened. So here's my story. This is why I stopped shopping at Lush. It has nothing to do with the products themselves. So a very quick Google search will take you to pages and pages of information on some of the ingredients in Lush products, like sulfates and parabens and fragrances. That's not why I stopped shopping there. I stopped because of a very bad customer service experience, and it was all in one day. So I had gone to Lush with the intention of trading in some empties. You return 5 containers and you get a free face mask. So I had been taking advantage of their recycling program for as long as I had been shopping there. So I knew the ins and outs and how it all worked. I knew you needed 5. I knew you had to clean them beforehand. So not a problem. I had them in a little plastic bag. Now I know going to Lush with a plastic bag, but I get them grocery shopping sometimes, so I just reuse them for other purposes. So I had them all in a bag tied up around my arm. So when I go in the store, I'm almost like immediately met by a salesperson, and the store isn't empty and it's not full. So there's a few other people sort of mingling around, but this one sales girl comes up to me and she hands me the basket and is asking if there's anything she can help me find. And I said no. I said I'm looking for a couple of things to repurchase, and I had to trade in my empties, so I was good. So that wasn't good enough for her apparently, because she decided to start following me around. Everything I picked up in the store to look at, she would start talking about how good it was. And even if I wasn't interested in it, she'd say, "Oh, you'll love this." And she'd take it and put it in my basket. And the first few times I was like, okay. And when I would, kind of go around and put the thing back and just, I was trying to tell her very politely that I was not interested. And if I wanted something, I'd put it in the basket myself. Like, she didn't ask a question. She didn't say, "Do you want this? Would you like to try this?" She just did the, "Oh, you will love this," and put it in my basket for me, which I really felt very uncomfortable with that. And she just kept pushing products on me. And she would, sort of grab me and be like, "Oh, feel this, touch this, smell this," sticking products in my face, saying, "Oh, but you'll love it," and kept putting things in my basket. So I was trying to get out of there as fast as I possibly could, because it was just such an uncomfortable experience. So it really went on for a while, just sort of me circling the store trying to get away from her. I kept trying to tell her I'm fine. I don't need any help. I've been here before and I know what I'm looking for. And it wasn't until the store started to fill up a little bit more that she sort of left me alone, and I just went and emptied my basket and only had like the 2 things that I actually wanted to buy. But it was just so strange. I've been in there before and they're definitely very pushy. That's something that a lot of people talk about with Lush, but usually if I would say that I don't need any help or I've been here before and I said I was repurchasing things, they kind of would get it and go, "Okay, if you have any questions, ask me." And there's been times when I'd pick something up and tried, or they tried on me, like they'd ask first, "Do you mind if I try this on you?" Not just actually grab my hand and put product on me. Like, I was so uncomfortable, but I get so nervous and reserved in situations like that. Like, I'm a very introverted person, so I'm not one to just, sort of snatch my arm away and say, "Don't touch me." I'll just sort of be like, "Okay, do it, I guess." I'm just so awkward in those situations, so it was not comfortable. So anyway, I got into the lineup to pay for the products I was buying, as well as my free face mask, so that I could trade in those empties when I got up to the cash. So I was still feeling a little uncomfortable from the previous few minutes with that sales girl, touching me and putting products on me and putting products in my basket, and just thinking that I was going to be buying all of this stuff. Like, there was probably hundreds of dollars worth of product she just kept pushing in my basket, and a lot of the stuff was stuff I would never use. So I was very uncomfortable standing in line waiting to pay to get out of there. So I get up to the cash and there's a sales girl. She's obviously had a very long day. You can kind of see it in cashiers' faces after a while, when they're just like, "This is like the end of my shift. I'm totally done." So I handed over my little basket with my products, and before she had a chance to ring anything in, I knew that would kind of cause a problem. She started to ring in like the face mask and stuff first. So I immediately said, "I have these empties," and I opened the plastic bag that had been hanging sort of around my wrist. I opened it up and showed her that I had the 5 empties. So she does one of these looks at me, takes the bag, and like it was diseased. Like she just really just did like one of those like 2-finger light grab sort of things. Looks in it, and then she takes one container out of the bag. She unscrews the top, looks at it, you know, the inside and the top, and just makes this face, puts the top on and puts it in the bag and just looks at me and goes, "You're disgusting." And I looked at her and I was like, "Excuse me?" What? You know you're supposed to clean those first, right? I shouldn't even accept these. You know what? I don't even want to accept these. I should make you go and clean them before I would let you take this stuff, because this is just, it's not appropriate. We have a policy here that our containers are supposed to be washed before you bring it to us, and you did not wash your containers. Now, I had washed my containers. Here's the thing, I always do, and I try not to waste water cleaning them either. I usually bring them into the shower with me, and I make sure that everything's all cleaned out, all nice. Although sometimes I don't bring the tops for containers in. Sometimes they're easily rinsable and sometimes they're not. This particular container that she had grabbed was for the ocean salt scrub, which is a very messy product. And all I could think is that I didn't clean the inside cap. I usually clean the caps in the sink and the other ones in the shower, just because it usually ends up working better for me, and so I'm not wasting a lot of water. So all I could think is I accidentally screwed the cap on that one before it was clean, or I didn't clean it 100%, because it's a salt scrub, so sometimes you can't really tell in those little ridges if you get everything out, and I'm not like scrubbing everything down. I'm just trying to make sure everything was clean. And I had been returning those empties for years to that point, so I knew that they wanted the containers to be clean, and I always made sure they were clean. So I just sort of froze again and just sort of looked at her, and I could see her, she sort of paused and she looked at me. She looks at the thing and she's just like, you know, the eye roll and the sigh. She then continues to lecture me. So instead of saying, "Go away and clean these, you have to come back later," or whatever, or saying, "I'll take them," she decides to continue to lecture me, with her voice getting higher and higher and higher as she's talking. And the store is pretty full at this point. There's a line behind me of probably 5 or 6 people, and she's almost yelling at me about hygiene and how it was really disgusting of me to not clean these products, and how, you know, I shouldn't be bringing dirty products in here to exchange for a new one. And she just went on and on and on. I don't even remember half the stuff she said because I just sort of blocked her out. That's my defense mechanism. When people start yelling at me, I just stop listening. So she just kept going on and on and on. Finally, she stops. After throwing up all these things, at one point she said I should have to go around the corner to the bathroom and clean the things. And it was just, it was over the top. It was over the top. And then finally she stops and she says, "Well, I'll let you get away with it this time." Get away with it this time. Okay. So I really didn't even want to pay for that. I really didn't even want anything at this point. I just wanted to turn around and leave, but I was already there. The damage had been done, so I was just waiting for her to finish running things through. And then she looks at me after she rang through the couple of products, and she goes, "Well, you should at least buy a charity pot." I don't want one, thanks. The charity pot is a full-size container with a body lotion, hand and body lotion, where proceeds go to charity. And I'd had one before and I didn't like it. I'm not a body lotion person, but I kind of got talked into one time. So she says, "Well, you should at least buy a charity pot." And I said, "No, thank you. I'm not interested." And she's like, "But it's for charity." Yes, I know, I understand. I've had one before. I didn't really like the product, so I'll pass, thanks. And she doesn't say a word after that. She just gives the little, you know, screwed up face thing, looks me up and down, finishes ringing things in, I pay, she hands me the bag silently, and I turn and I walk away. And as I'm walking out of the store, I'm just thinking, I'm never coming back here again. It was just such an incredibly uncomfortable experience all around. And I know it's not super dramatic. You know, I wasn't accused of shoplifting and it wasn't a lot of theatrics, but just having one person follow me around and put products in my basket and touch me when I didn't want to be touched. And then having the sales girl at the cash full on lecture me, yelling at me practically in front of a bunch of people. It just really made the store not welcoming. Because that's the thing, in the past, I was so frequent at this particular Lush store that they recognized me, they knew the products I liked. These were people I hadn't dealt with before, they were probably new people. And before it was very friendly and I could chat with people about products, and I was just such a Lush junkie. I was constantly reading about their new releases and what products they had out and what even were special products they had only in like their UK store, and I was just a full-on Lushie. And all of a sudden it was like the gloss just got wiped away and I saw the store completely differently, and I just didn't ever feel comfortable going back in there again, because when I would pass the store I would just sort of remember those experiences and it just felt so awful. You know, I had those sort of panicky feelings when I walked by and was like, I don't want to put myself in that sort of situation again. So I just haven't gone into the store. I haven't shopped at Lush, and I can say that I haven't been motivated to look up any of their products. I haven't gone to a different store. I haven't ordered online. I unsubscribed from all the emails, everything. It was just, that was it. And maybe I should have reported the incident at the time. I really just didn't even think about it. I severed my ties with Lush, and that was it. I just finished up the products that I had remaining and I was done. I actually ended up throwing out the few containers I had left. I was keeping them for a long time, thinking I would sometime get the motivation to go back into store and trade things in for a face mask, and I was like, no, I can't do it. I just can't do it, because I would be so paranoid of getting up to the cash and what if a little bit of product was still in whatever container they opened, because she only opened one container too. That was the thing. She didn't even open all of them. She opened one single container, saw some stuff in there, because I can guarantee you there was not a lot of product in there, because if you take a container into the shower with you and you're rinsing things out, you're gonna know it's pretty darn clean. So I know there was not a lot of product in there to begin with, and she didn't even show me. She just sort of looked at it, made the gross face, you know, put the cap back on and lectured me. And so I couldn't face it again. And that's it. That's the whole story. That's all there is to it. So it's been a few years, I believe 2 or 3. I don't remember the exact time, but it's been a while. And I used to go to Lush every single week. It was a place I spent a lot of money at. Like, I was spending like hundreds of dollars every week because I was so obsessed with it. So it's a good thing I'm over that now, because I haven't spent any money there. So let me know what you guys think about Lush. Do you shop there? Did you have any positive, negative experiences? I'd love to hear all sorts of different stories, because I usually only hear about the like negative things, but I'd love to hear about some good things. Like, share some good stories, some good customer service stories, because I think that would be good to hear as well. So yeah, hope that satisfied your guys' curiosity, and thank you so much for watching. Let me know if there's anything else you would like me to talk about, and I will be glad to do so, and I hope I will talk with you soon. Bye for now.